Hey everybody, it is Andrea Beem. Hey, today we're going to be talking about Zoom etiquette. I know this seems like a kind of a boring topic, and at the same time, Zoom is still fairly new to our society in terms of being used very heavily. And so I just really wanted to do a short video on Zoom etiquette to really just kind of set a foundation, set a standard for what it looks like to be in a Zoom meeting versus in an in-person meeting and what that etiquette looks like. Because if it goes unspoken, it's kind of like having an expectation of someone, that they don't know about, and then you're disappointed because they don't do whatever it is your expectation is. Well, that's not really fair. If they don't know what the expectation is, then it's kind of one-sided. So I think that putting out there what Zoom etiquette is, whether you're in a meeting for us or you're just in a meeting that you're attending, a webinar that you're attending or a meeting that you're attending, whether it's 5 people or it's 500 people, right? So we're going to start right at the top. And the first one, obviously super basic. It's the same as it would be for an in-person meeting. Show up on time, right? Jump in a minute or two early, get yourself situated, make sure your camera's on, make sure your microphone's on, make sure everything's working. I mean, you guys, technology, it's a love-hate relationship, right? So just make sure you're on time to make sure everything's working, and that way the meetings can get started on time, and you're not, if you were in an in-person meeting, you wouldn't walk in late and disrupt the meeting, right? So just be on time. Number 2, we're going to talk about no phone calls. So a lot of times it's really easy, you guys, in Zoom meetings to feel a little more anonymous, if you will, right? There's a barrier because you're on a computer screen and you feel like maybe people don't really see you or aren't paying attention. But here's the kicker. They can see you and they can see what you're doing, and it does make a difference. So if I'm in a meeting and the speaker's, talking about something, and I get a phone call and I'm like, oh, look at that. Nice. Okay. Well, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to be on the phone. And meanwhile, everybody in that Zoom meeting can see that I am paying no attention to the meeting whatsoever. And then I'm obviously engaged in a phone call and my camera's on. Again, everyone can kind of see what's going on there. You wouldn't do that in an in-person meeting. You wouldn't be in a meeting with 10 people, 20 people, 50 people, and just take a phone call and start talking in the middle of the meeting, right? Now, occasionally, you see people get up and maybe walk out of the room if they have to take a really important phone call. You might see something like that, right? So if you've got a phone call and it is so important that you need to leave the meeting, then I would encourage you to maybe just turn off your camera at that point, go take your meeting, and then come back in and turn your camera back on. That way, everyone's not just sitting there watching you with your phone call, okay? Okay, next one. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit deeper on that one as well. Texting. So when you are on your phone and you're texting, what happens to the camera is it sees your head, kind of bowed down. You can obviously tell someone's texting on their phone, again, not engaged in the meeting. So texting is kind of the same as a phone call. Don't be tempted. Turn your notifications off, turn your phone over, don't look at it. If you're going to be in the meeting, engage in the meeting, because multitasking is a fallacy. It's a lie, right? We all like to think we can multitask and we can do it all, but the reality is your brain is only paying attention to one thing. It's not able to listen to 2 or 3 things at once. It can only retain one stream of information that's coming in. So next one, keep your camera on unless you're in a situation where it's just not appropriate for you to have your camera on, or you're not able to. It's much more important for you to be in the meeting than it is for the camera to be on. But if you have the ability to have the camera on, definitely do so, because you don't have that ability when you're in person, right? You don't get to, hide behind a screen when you're in person, or hide behind a wall. That would be kind of funny, right? So when you're in a Zoom meeting, keep your camera on and keep engaged. All right. That leads me to engaging in the meeting. Make sure that you are able to ask questions, listen to what's being said, taking notes, that kind of thing. Engage with what's happening. Depending on the type of meeting, there might be a lot of engagement and participation, or there might not be much at all. If you're in more of a webinar style, there might not be much. And you can use the chat bar down below, or you can use the raise hand feature, but definitely engage in what is going on. And I promise you will get much more out of the meeting. Okay, don't check email. That's the next one. So it's really tempting, you guys, when you are on your screen like this, that you are clicking over to another tab and maybe checking email while you're in a meeting. Here's the thing, same thing with the phone. You can tell when someone's on the phone. You can tell when someone's checking their email. So if I'm sitting here like this and I click over to my tab in my email, here's what starts to happen. My eyes start to read. And so my eyes are going from side to side, or I might be looking for something. And so you'll see my head doing this, right? Because I'm looking on my computer screen. And again, you can tell that person is not engaged in the meeting. They're doing something else, right? They're checking email, they're texting, they're on a phone call, whatever. I can tell you, coming from a speaker standpoint, that you guys, the engagement of the audience is so important. I feed off of the audience when I'm doing a large speaking presentation. Their reactions tell me if I'm, hitting or missing, right, with what I'm talking about. If they're totally disengaged, then I know maybe what I'm bringing to the table is not valuable, or I didn't bring the right information for this group, okay? So engagement is so important from a speaker standpoint. If you're in a meeting that's in person, that engagement, that audience feedback, the eye contact, you guys, it's instrumental. And it's honestly, I know this kind of sounds harsh, but it's rude, right? It's rude if you're in a meeting and that speaker is watching half of the room on their phone. Now, could be that the content is no good, or they're not an engaging speaker. That's totally possible. And it's also very hard as a speaker if you are not getting the engagement from your audience. So, okay, position the camera at you, right? So we have the camera right here pointing at my face. You don't want to do this. You don't want to have that. This is what my son likes to do. Yep. If we have a Zoom call or a FaceTime call, I always see the ceiling, right? You just want to be right here, just facing right at your face so that you can engage and make eye contact. Another thing is have good lighting. It's really hard when you have a window right behind you, because what happens is it darkens your face a lot. And so then you can't really see the face. So try to keep from having a window directly behind you when you are in a Zoom meeting, or even have a lamp. You guys, I have a lamp right here to the side. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I'm going to turn it off. It kind of darkened my face just a little bit. I'm going to turn it on. So having a lamp can help kind of bring that lighting so that you are able to be seen well. Just don't have a window behind you, because that makes it really difficult, kind of makes you more of a silhouette. Okay, you guys, just the golden rule: treat others the way that you want to be treated. If you were the speaker in a meeting, you would want the engagement of the audience, and you wouldn't want to see half the audience on their phone or busy texting, because you would really feel, you would feel unimportant, or feel like, they don't really care about what you're saying. So it's just using the golden rule. Treat others the way that you want to be treated. And take notes, write down action items from these meetings. Walk away with an actionable item that you can go out and put into place, and know that you got some value from that meeting that you went to. Okay, you guys, better etiquette just means a more productive meeting. It means a more engaged meeting. And I know that our meetings are going to be amazing, and we want to make them amazing. And you guys are the ones that make them amazing. So I look forward to seeing you all on a training, on a Zoom call, on a Zoom meeting, and in-person meetings, as we like to mix them up. So let me know if you have any questions on Zoom etiquette, and I'll see you in the next one.